I got a problem with the jurors saying they based Amber Guyger's sentencing off of what they thought Botham Jean would have wanted. I got a problem with that. You got a whole case in front of you. You have witnesses, you have testimony, you have lawyers, you have a whole case in front of you, and you base your decision on what you think a man that is no longer with us would have wanted. Are you out of your mind? Are you insane? This is a gross miscarriage of justice. This is ridiculous.
Prosecutors were asking for 28 years.
They were.
You all landed at 10.
After hearing about how his family talked about him, he seemed like just the light in their lives, and he was kind and just caring and forgiving. And I told everyone, I was like, I'm really having a hard time with this because we all agree that it was a mistake.
This is a gross miscarriage of justice. This is ridiculous. These people literally said they believe she made a mistake. The jurors actually said they believe she made a mistake.
I told everyone, I was like, I'm really having a hard time with this because we all agree that it was a mistake.
If she made a mistake, then why did you find her guilty? If she made a mistake, then why did you find her guilty? It was an accident, right? So if it was a mistake, why was she found guilty? The jurors have an entire case in front of them, and they are literally basing it off of what they think Botham Jean would have wanted. So in other words, because he's a decent human being, because he's a good person, you're going to take what he would have thought over what's actually being presented in court. The prosecution asked for 28 years, and you all came back with 10, but you didn't base it on the case. If you thought it was a mistake, then why did you find her guilty? It just doesn't make sense. As I said so before, this case was a setup. I said it was a setup. You all gave her a punishment, but you based the punishment on something stupid. This is a gross miscarriage of justice. I have a problem with it, though. I do. You guys didn't take the facts of the case. You literally said you based it on what you think the victim would have wanted. In what world is this?
I don't think Bo would want to take harsh vengeance. I think he would want to forgive her. And I didn't feel like I had any right to speak for him, and he isn't there to talk for himself.
The jury is supposed to be impartial. The jury is supposed to be neutral. The jury is supposed to have an unbiased opinion. So why are you all crying while you're deliberating? What are you guys crying about? Why are you guys shedding tears? Why are you guys slinging snot?
There was a lot of crying.
A lot of crying.
When we were told to go decide between 5 and life, that was like, we didn't have words.
The jury is supposed to be impartial. So you all should not have been crying. And who are you crying for? Who are you crying for? Are you crying for Amber or Botham? Who are you crying for? Are you crying for Amber Guyger or Botham Jean? Who are you crying for? You are supposed to be impartial. This is a gross miscarriage of justice. I have a problem with it. It's one thing to render a decision. It's another thing to render a decision based on something foolish. I didn't know they based it on something foolish. This is ridiculous. I have a problem with how the jury arrived at the decision. I have a problem with you all crying. I have a problem with you all even thinking you know what Botham Jean would have wanted. I have a problem with all of it. Really, I got a problem with all of it.
Listening to how people talked about him, I felt like he would forgive her.
They asked for 28 years, and I'm going to be honest and true. I was like, I can't give her 28 years. I know a lot of people are not happy about the 10 years, but I felt like, you know, for this case was not like any other case.
It's unacceptable. It's just unacceptable, man. It's really unacceptable. I can't ride with that, man. I can't ride with it. I can't ride with it. I can't ride knowing that if it was a black person, you all are not going to take none of that into consideration. If it's a black person, you all are not going to take any of that into consideration. I know this. I'm disgusted. I really am disgusted, man. I'm disgusted with the jury. It's a gross miscarriage of justice. You all are supposed to be impartial to what's going on, and you guys are sitting back there crying, and we don't know who you're crying over. We don't know who you're crying over. Are you crying over Amber Guyger, or are you crying over Botham Jean and his family? Who are you crying over? But based on your decision, it tells me everything. Wait for it. Free Blanche. Get money. Go. Just please indulge me for 1 second. What is a harsh punishment when you go into somebody's apartment while they're minding their own business, eating ice cream, and you shoot them twice in the chest for no reason? What is harsh punishment for that? If you kill someone for no reason, they will give you life in prison or you will get the death penalty. Those are standard punishments. A harsh punishment would be giving her life in prison and then sending her family to prison. That would be harsh. But sending her to prison for 28 years is pretty normal and standard.
You can't compare this case to any of those other officers killing unarmed black men. Those officers that kill unarmed black men, when they got out, they went back to living their lives. Amber Guyger, ever since she killed that man, she has not been the same. She showed remorse and that she's gonna have to deal with that for the rest of her life.
Can I give her a hug, please?
Just cut the crap and say you got seduced by a blonde-haired, blue-eyed murderer in the courtroom. A pale-faced killer, a stringy-haired demon, an aggressively aged monster.
I don't think Bo would want to take harsh vengeance. I think he would want to forgive her. And I didn't feel like I had any right to speak for him, and he isn't there to talk for himself. But listening to how people talked about him, I felt like he would forgive her.
Wait for it. Free Blanche. Get money. Go.